everybody. This is Joann Erenhouse and
Jim Collins.
from Senior Solutions. We're here today to talk about a very important project that we've been doing together with the veterans for the last few years, and that's the Vet to Vet Visitor Program. It's one of the many visitor programs that we sponsor at Senior Solutions. We particularly excited about the Vet to Vet because it started, about 5 years ago at the American Legion in Brattleboro. And at that time, we had a very active volunteer coordinator who, worked very hard, set it up. We got introduced to the commandant and a lot of excitement, and they really kicked it off. And we want to explain about the program that we do, introduce also a very important piece to the puzzle, which is Valerie Stuart, who is working for Senior Solutions in Brattleboro with the Vet to Vet program. She's the brains that matches people, sets things together, keeps the records, does a lot of the important administrative work. And we're thankful that she's here. Right now, she's contacting one of our veterans that had a little hard time getting on the Zoom. So bear with us. And
we'll move right along.
There you go.
Good. Let me ask you a question. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Walter.
Oh, Walter, excuse me. All right. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the program?
Okay. Well, just a little, just previous to when the Vet to Vet program started, actually what happened was it was a tragic thing happened in our life. My daughter died, and it really threw me back for a while. I was really felt depressed, and I mean I was going through a lot of thoughts about life and everything else, and I was thinking, I was most of my life have been, I was in the military and I did different things, but I was very fortunate that things went my way. I mean, I'm not wealthy, but healthy, and things were going well. But this kind of, I've had other serious things happen in my life, but this was really knocked me over. And I was trying to figure a way, you look at different things religiously and everything else. And I figured, well, maybe, I could get involved with some organization to do something and give myself to somebody to help. And maybe that would make me feel, get the pressure off my mind. And so I called around. In fact, I had different organizations I checked with. They never got back. I couldn't believe it. Some of the ones that I thought would need help, they never answered. And I said, geez, they must have plenty of volunteers. In fact, one of them I called, they were very interested, but then they asked me, are you on, they asked me if I was on welfare. And I said, no. And they said, well, you can't work because it's a federal grant, and you can only be on welfare. I said, well, I'm volunteering. I don't want money. I just want to volunteer. But they said, no, unfortunately, we can't do anything about it. So I was I said, what's going on here? So anyway, I went to a local minister, a couple of them, and I went to the hospital and asked my doctor. And I did get little to the hospital, VA or whatever, just sporadically. And that was okay, but I still wanted to get into an organization. And it just so happened my wife saw, Kathy just had seen the Brattleboro, an article in the Brattleboro Reformer about the Vet to Vet program starting, and it was with Hal Lear, was one of the first. He was a veteran. I knew him previously because he used to sell sports equipment. And then the commander, I think it was Jim, they wanted to start the program. So I called and got a hold of Vicky Mastriani, and she set me up with, at the time, with the, getting the paperwork done, and trying to get you vetted and everything, make sure that everything was okay. We started right off, so it was great. We had about maybe 8 members or so, and I just felt good because now I can do something. And my wife thought it was a good idea because since I was a veteran, to help veterans, I mean, what better way than to give back? You can give to anybody, but this was even a special thing. So it worked out well. And in May 1st, I think it was 2019, we had the meeting, I guess, down at VA, down at Brattleboro, April 5th, I show here of 2019, we started the program officially with training. And then May 1st, Vicki set me up with an appointment with a fella. I'll just give his first name, Cliff. And it was great. We went over, which I liked it because when Vicki and Valerie does the same thing, when they set up an interview, you meet with them at the person's house or wherever they're staying, and you get to know each other a little bit. She gets you, the introduction, and you talk about each other and what your likes are, and they try to see if there's a fit, because if there isn't a fit, I guess there could be. I've never had a problem with anybody, but some people can get turned off. They either don't like your looks or they might not like the way you're coming, where you're coming from, or you're too, whatever. But it works out with Cliff. He was a paraplegic. Actually, he was almost a quadriplegic at the time. He could just about stand. He was in a wheelchair. So I had a lot to learn. And the good thing is it took my mind off. I was like, I met with him, and then he likes to go fishing. He liked outdoors. That was the thing I like to do. And then I'm thinking, gee, how am I going to get him out? That was a big thing. And I said, well, he lived up in the second story of where the old Estes organ place is down there. I get him up, and he's like, where's I get his gear? And he had all his gear to bring down. So he had to get it down himself, which he had, an elevator. And then he had an electric wheelchair, which was like a scooter thing. And I had a ramp for my, ramp for my lawnmower, and I brought that along to set it up. And I'm thinking, okay, I wasn't even paying attention to it. I said, well, just ride it up here. I was up. And because the wheels are small and the ramp had a little angle on it. So I said, well, let me get in there and try. So I stand him up. He's holding on to the edge. He's got his walker. And I asked him how he worked. I said, let me put it in fast gear because electric was 2-speed. I took a shot at it. I mean, hit the ramp, and I went right up and over. I went right up. And I'm like, some other maintenance guys running. Oh, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. I said, I was just ridiculous. I was stupid for me to do. I was just thinking how ignorant of what I was doing. I didn't understand that. It was. I didn't get hurt. But I'm just thinking, wait a second. What if he was in there and he went over? Our first client's going to go to the hospital. They're going to call and say Senior Solutions, and the vet program's going down the tubes already because they're going to get a lawsuit. So it just happened to be that it was okay. So then I said, okay, let me think this over. I put it in low gear. I walked the scooter up. I could lift the front wheels up. There was light. The battery was in the back, so it was top heavy. I mean, it was back heavy, and the front was very light. So I could walk it up, and I could move it in.
Walter, let me say something.
Yeah. So I got him in the truck, and it was a learning curve. The thing is, then I asked Vicki for help, and then I started getting, the good thing. What I wanted to get the point across too is that Senior Solutions had a lot of different programs. They had different volunteers that were with different things with paraplegics and other people. So by going to these little programs, we could by the program, I could learn. Okay, this is how you handle people. How you walk them, how you you take them from one position to another.
Walter,
just this short. Hearing you talk, I know what you bring to a meeting with another person.
Yeah.
Your sense of humor must go a long way. And a lot of people don't start that way when they meet other people. But I think your sense of humor takes you pretty far.
Not only that, but
I'm open because I make a lot of mistakes. So it's a mistake.
as Valerie will tell you, we do the DMV check on people, but we don't check them on their ability to operate wheelchairs. So let me get Valerie in here for a minute. Valerie, thank you so much, Walter. Valerie, can you give us a little overview of the Vet to Vet program and things that you do and how people can take part?
Oh, sure. So basically, Walter is one of our star volunteers, as you both can see just from talking to him. And we currently have 4 other Vet to Vet volunteers. So including Walter, it's really 5 vets in the program right now. And they're just really great people. We have a gentleman named Gordon Best, who I was actually trying to get onto this interview, but he is having technical problems. So he may call in, he may not. I don't know if he's going to be able to. But at any rate, and Gordon is in the Windsor area. And actually, Joann, you're going to match him with a new veteran today, correct? Oops, your audio.
Trying to keep it clear. Yeah, at 1 o'clock, we're going to meet up in Windsor at the new client's home, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure they'll hit it off. I think Gordon hits it off, kind of like Walter. He'll hit it off with anybody.
Yeah, and funnily enough, it's a small world because when I spoke to the wife about matching Gordon with this gentleman, basically the wife said she thinks she and her husband know Gordon because they live right in Windsor too. So small world. And then Gordon is matched with another veteran who he sees on a regular basis. And he's been involved with the program pretty much from the start, as has another gentleman named Bill Toomey. Bill lives out in Grafton. Right now, he only has 1 veteran he visits, but he is open to visiting others. The trick always is if the geographic match or mismatch. Sometimes we have a veteran who would like a visitor in one area, but only an available volunteer in another area. So we try not to make the driving distance too difficult for the veteran volunteer. Even though we reimburse mileage for all our volunteers who submitted, it's still, we try not to make the trips too long. Walter makes long trips. He's very good about that. Most people don't want to do that. He comes down from Jamaica to Brattleboro on a regular basis, and he's been doing that for a long time with his different veterans. So, and then we have another veteran named Dick Pierce. He's looking for a new person to be matched with. Dick is in Brattleboro. He's been with the program for about 2 years. He's been matched with various veterans over time who have either moved away or passed away, unfortunately. So he's eager to be matched with a new individual. And then we have a gentleman named Andy Steele, and he's up in the Dartmouth area, and he's matched with 1 person up that way. So, we have a small group, but, they are very dedicated to their people. And we're always getting referrals for new clients or recipients. And we're always looking for new volunteers, as you well know, Joann. You're always doing a great job recruiting.
How can they volunteer? How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, good point. Good point. So the best thing for them to do is to call our helpline, and the number for that is 802-885-2669. And then the helpline will basically refer them to me, give me their name and phone number and other germane information, and I will follow up and see what their needs are. We will endeavor to match them with someone in their area who, we hope will be compatible with their person. Frequently, the wife or the daughter or the son calls for a volunteer on their loved one's behalf. And we have had a couple of female veteran clients, but currently there aren't any, we aren't serving any female clients, and we don't have any female veteran volunteers.
So anybody out there who's listening to this,
absolutely,
if you're a veteran, you don't have to have served overseas. You don't have to have been in a war.
Wow.
All you have to be is a veteran.
Mhm.
Any age, there's no age specification, no income specification. This is a purely volunteer activity that we know most of all the veterans in our region are very service oriented. They hate to ask for anything. They would do anything rather than ask. They only want to give. But it is hard sometimes to realize how necessary you all are to fulfilling the need for some of the disabled and older veterans who can't get out anymore, but they're still interested. And Jim had some great ideas about places I could go to talk to people at American Legions and VFWs. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a local VFW here, and uh, it's well received by the number of people that are members. And I know, I think this program benefits two people, the vet and the other vet.
Mhm.
All right, because they have a lot in common. They have a lot of the same issues. They have a lot of the good ideas about solutions. You
Yep.
know, I'm not a vet. I'm proud of my brother, who was commandant of the Coast Guard, and I'm very close with him. And I know um, he thinks programs like this are really important for both the vet and the other vet.
That's a good point. And I just remembered sometimes people ask, oh, well, I was only in the National Guard. Hello, you're a veteran. So if you were in the National Guard, you qualify automatically. And we do, of course, for all of our volunteer programs, we do a very simple background check. And it's for your good as well as for the people you visit. And Walter will tell you too, there's kinds of things you do together. You decide, Senior Solutions doesn't say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's very low bureaucratically. Basically, the veterans run the program. You take a hike in the woods, go fishing like Walter's done, whatever you want to do with the person or people that you visit. And it's a wonderful thing. And you're going to get tired of hearing me say it, but whether it's in my columns, on radio, here in BCTV and other programs, guess what? It's just like in boot camp. You have each other's back. And who doesn't need that? Sometimes I wish I was a veteran so I'd have somebody to have my back. And it's just an extension of that program from boot camp, and it's good for everybody. Also,
Other thing, if I could just add, Joanne, is
Yeah.
it's a pretty light commitment in terms of time. I mean, 1 hour a week is what we suggest and hope for, but really, any amount of time a veteran could give on a regular basis, is
absolutely.
welcome. So
Yeah, you tell us what you want to do. We'll try to make it possible.
exactly.
So, and
Exactly.
Valerie's terrific. She sends me, Joanne, you're going to be up in Windsor today with Gordon.
Mhm.
She really keeps good track of things, and we love our volunteers.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do some more volunteer appreciation events this year. There's all kinds of things that we can do to let you, ladies and gentlemen, know how important you are. And believe me, you are. What is one of the most difficult things in Vermont as we age? Remaining connected, whether it's with friends, neighbors, community, and our visitors are the connector. Also want to remind everybody out there that we did start a Veterans Advisory Council several years ago. And I think over COVID, it kind of fell by the wayside. I don't know. But now I'm here, and Valerie and I are going to try to see how we can rebuild that advisory council. And by the way, this is being filmed on BCTV, and this will be shared across the board to the other public access television stations up in White River Junction,
Right.
Windsor, Okemo Valley, Fact TV in Bellows Falls. Anywhere that there's a public access station, they can upload the program and show it. So I hope all the volunteers and veterans out there who would like to be volunteers will see this and know, we just want to hear from you. We'll find somebody for you to spend a little bit of time with, and hope you'll enjoy it as much as Walter and Gordon and some of the other volunteers do get a good feeling. So I'm going to stop and let other people pitch in.
Joanne, I just want to ask one thing. Do you think we should try to get Gordon on, like I could try to get him on my cell phone on speaker and just see if it works?
Sure.
He still is trying to connect to audio. He can't.
Gordon, that would be great.
Okay, so I'm going to mute, go away for a minute.
Okay, I'll talk. Or Jim, you can
Well,
talk.
I'd like to hear Walter talk. So you really set the right stage for this interview by personalizing and saying why you are benefiting from this and what it's done for you. And I can tell you're a positive person. All right. So if I'm a vet that is having concerns, I'm lonely, I don't have any friends, etc. Boy, I want to speak to Walter because I think he can enlighten people that need that kind of support. You're very positive and upbeat. Has that been a key to your success? What branch
I don't
did
know.
you serve?
Well,
Walter,
it does
what
help
branch did you serve
if
in?
you're,
Yeah, you're breaking
I
up.
was in the Army.
Say it again.
In the Army. I started back in the early 60s, 62. A big pardon? Oh, the Army? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I was in the Army, and when I first started, I was where I was in the President's Honor Guard, and actually
Oh,
I
congratulations.
served at President Kennedy's funeral, part of his funeral cortege, and took his body off the plane at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the early part of it. But anyway,
wow.
Yeah, but that's another story. But anyway, that's where I started. Yeah.
Wow.
When you're young, you forget all about that. It was just you're just part of something, but you don't know when you're young. You're just out of your teens. You don't realize that history is being made, but you're there, but you really don't know how you fit in. You're just doing a job. You know what I mean? You're
absolutely
trained for it, and you do it. And later on you start thinking, well, there was a lot of things going on. You saw a lot of people. You were at the White House a lot. I mean, I was at for different occasions, and we escorted the president when he was in Washington, personal escort, and inaugural parades, everything. But that's where I started. But
I understand. That really breaks the ice for somebody. They're going to be asking you a million questions after that presentation, really, just because it's so important to share your experiences with other people that have impacted your life in a positive way. And they'll come back with a similar story.
Yeah.
And so that's how you open things up. And boy, Walter, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, Walter, we're going to have to do something special for you.
But I don't. I try not to talk about myself when I'm there, but I try to figure out what they want.
That's right.
Wow.
And they always want something different. There's some, like one of the clients, so I guess you would call him, at the time he had a disease, aphasia or something, where he was cognizant of everything he wanted to do, but he couldn't get into words what he wanted to do, and he was frustrated. And that was the hardest thing for me the next step was trying to understand he was coming from. He was frustrated with himself, because he was trying to communicate with me and I'm trying to figure
Walter, I
out
have
what
to
he
break
without
in.
hurting his feelings and getting frustrated myself. So I stepped back and we figured it out. Shopping, I would take him. He couldn't get the words up on so over, you know.
You're mute, Joanne. You're mute. You're mute. That's why, Walter,
Oh,
Joanne's going to break in.
yeah, I have to
I'm,
break
I'm,
in, Walter, because
yeah.
you're breaking up. It's hard to
Oh, I'm
comprehend what
sorry.
you're saying. We're gonna,
Oh,
and we have to let Gordon get on. He's on the phone.
yes. Oh, okay.
Okay, and when we get back, hopefully your system will be clearer. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Mm.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so Gordon is on my cell phone. So let's see if that works. I have my cell phone on the highest volume. Gordon has his on the highest volume. We'll see how it works. So Gordon, why don't you say good morning and then we'll see if we can hear you.
Good morning, this is Gordon.
That work, Joanne?
I can hear him. Gordon, good to
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay, so why don't you two talk and just we'll see. Hopefully this will work
Yeah,
fine.
Gordon, thanks for being a volunteer. Can you tell us maybe one of your favorite experiences or something?
Probably, yes. Well, one of them was the gentleman that's in Woodstock, in late 80s and 90s, and that was a good experience for him and a good experience for me. We had known each other in the past when my cousin and I did a project up there, converting a room to a family room, a garage to a family room. So that's how I get to know him. It was good to connect with him again after many years, and we had some really sure because he didn't have cancer and he didn't wasn't here for only 4 or 5 months, I guess. But during that time, we had some good times and going out to lunch and conversations and just him in the town. So that was a very memorable experience.
Okay.
Others have been good too. To all the ones I've connected with and have usually one of them weekly top meetings where going and picking up things for him or taking him to appointments. So it's all been a very rewarding experience there.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a variety of ways to help people, which is really good. Being able to help people get things, take people places, visit, spend time, talk, and importantly, listen to them and things. What you guys are doing is unbelievable service and really, really helping people, which is what we're all about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Gordon, I will see you a little bit later over at your new old friend's house. And Walter, I know I'll see you a lot at the memory cafes. And
Joanne?
yeah,
So Gordon was asking, what were you asking, Gordon?
We're scheduled to meet at noontime down at Scotty at 91 Thrasher Road.
Are you meeting at noon in a
no, we're meeting at 1 o'clock at the client's. At the new match is going to be at 1 o'clock. That's where in Windsor, but I don't have the address in front of me, but I have it.
That would work for me. That's fine.
That's
1 o'clock
okay.
in Windsor.
It's
On
hard to
Thrasher
hear
Road.
today.
Yes, Gordon.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Great. I'll just keep you here. Well, Gordon, so you could hear, I guess. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Good. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you for.
Thank you, Gordon.
Yeah, Valerie, you've done such an amazing job over the last few years. You've kept these programs rolling, and I want to acknowledge that.
Oh, thanks.
You really have.
It's my pleasure.
And
Yep.
it,
As
I
our
look forward.
volunteers know, and as Joanne and I and Bill and Walter know, helping people really makes you feel great, and it's really, especially at this time of year, you think of all the things we need to be thankful for, and we are thankful for. And I'm thankful for being involved with a bunch of great people, and also for being able to help some of the people in our community.
Yep.
Well, it's very important. I'm previously in the education business, and I know how important it is when I worked with young people and teachers, that you give them a chance to tell their personal stories, which impact everybody. And I really appreciate what Gordon and Walter are doing, and I thank you very much.
You know what? I'm going to add to that. Thank you. That is a good point. Tell me if I'm crazy, but I think it would be really important if sometime we don't get together and put a program together that we send to all of our legislators so that they understand the
Oh,
importance
yeah,
of
that'd be good.
all you volunteers.
Right.
Okay. Don't let me forget when we get off air. Don't let me walk into another project. Okay.
I'll hold her back.
But I just, I feel very lucky. Like Valerie was just saying, for Thanksgiving, when you think of, my gosh, what do you have to be thankful for? I am thankful for each and every one of you. You have no idea how good I feel after talking with you guys, doing something together, whatever it is. Number one, it puts a smile on my face, which may not seem like a lot to you guys, but yes, it puts a big smile on my face, and it puts, a big extra feeling in my heart. And it's hard to explain. I'm not doing it very eloquently, but you are the main reason that I enjoy working at Senior Solutions.
Yep.
Okay.
We have some really great volunteers, and we hope this program helps us get some more really great volunteers.
That's right. So everybody out there, get on our website, www.seniorsolutionsvt.org, and call our helpline, 1-802-885-2669, and say, I want to be a volunteer. If you're a veteran, get into that program. If you're, just want to help
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand that Senior Solutions has more than just one or two programs. I mean, I think a lot of senior citizens right now are getting bombarded with Medicare issue of the telephone calls you're getting. If you have questions about your Medicare and any of your plans, call Senior Solutions at the helpline. They have experts that can really support some of the new ideas in programs that may cost you $0. So that's
speaking of all our
because you have until
programs,
December 7th. So
exactly. And speaking of all our programs, the Vet to Vet program is one of our 3 home visitor programs. So we also have a program called Friendly Visitors, and that is just, civilian volunteers meeting with clients who are homebound or lonely or just need a friend. Then we also have one called Senior Companions. It's a federally run and subsidized program, and it allows people on the lower income scale to get a small stipend for their work, a small hourly stipend, in addition to mileage reimbursement, which we provide for all our volunteers. So those are 2 of the other home visitor programs. Joanne, I think, will be focusing on them in a subsequent show, but I did want to let viewers of this show know that those are 2 other opportunities to volunteer as well, and we can tell you all about them.
Yeah, we don't want anybody listening feeling like you're left out because you're not a vet. So if you're not a veteran, you can still call us and we'll find somebody for you to visit with.
absolutely.
Okay. It's a nice way to feel good about yourself and do something kind that is super appreciated by someone that really needs a friend.
That's right.
Okay. Anything we should add for the last minute ideas, segments? In that case, shall we just wish everybody
volunteers?
Thank you all for being here today. Jim, thanks for helping out. And
I've enjoyed meeting new people. So thank you very much.
Walter and
Absolutely.
Gordon, thank you guys, and the rest of the veteran volunteers, thank you by extension. Talk to you soon and love you all. Thank you, Valerie.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.